Hey guys, this is Pedro back with another interview. This time covering LEC Winter Split. For this occasion, I'm here accompanied by Larsson, the mid laner for Rogue, coming off of a match against Movistar Koi at the end of their split, thus finishing near the bottom of the league standing. So, Larsson, thank you so much for giving me the opportunity for this interview. Like I said before the start of the recording, I know it's pretty tough to finish the season for your team on a losing note, but nevertheless, I gotta ask you the obligatory opening question. What's going through your mind after finishing this match?
Yeah, I mean, so this match obviously didn't mean too much to us. It's like we wanted to end the split on a good note, but we were already out, right? So the pain was mostly yesterday, right, when we got knocked out. But I mean, what's going through is just how to improve for next split. That's like all. That's like the only thing I think about is to how to do better next split, because this is not acceptable, right? Yeah.
I mean, definitely it was I would say like a split to forget, but like not in forgetting in the sense that like, you got to forget everything, you got to look at, what kind of went wrong for the team and improve from now up until the start of the spring split. But nevertheless, I want to ask you just sort of going through a review of the split that was. I mean, obviously there's plenty of like good momentum at the start of the split, coming off of that opening victory against Heretics, but then everything went down from that point. But still, like nevertheless, just starting off from that first point, Heretics match, what do you feel just made it so difficult for you guys to continue that momentum from that point onwards?
Yeah, I mean, the Heretics match, it was really a slow game, and we played really disciplined. So it was like a good win. Maybe a bit boring for everyone to watch, but at least we got a win. But the other games, I mean, we had like a lot of close games, right? Like a lot of very, very close games that could have gone either way, but we didn't clutch it in mid game, and we like our mid game hasn't been too good, not on stage, not in scrims either. We throw like a lot of mid games, like not on stage, right, but in scrims as well. So it's like not like unlucky that we like throw on stage, right? It's like an issue we have our mid games, which needs to be like drastically improved. Wait, what was the question again? I forgot.
Biggest issues affecting the team from the first match of the very split until like the very end.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, as I said, like a lot of close games. I think if we won some of those close games, we would have like got a lot more confidence. But now, yeah, we just never got like the confidence boost of winning a stage because we struggled from the start, kind of. And yeah, I mean, that's like as I said, like I mean, as I said, the most common issue is for sure like our mid game. It's like for last year, for example, we like never got to mid game even. Like we after early game, it was kind of hard already. But this year we had like a lot of good early games, I think. But we just we're struggling in mid game. Yeah, we're struggling. Yeah.
I mean, given what you said about that part of the game, what do you feel is like the biggest cause behind the struggles, trying to transition from like a pretty decent to strong early game to the mid game? Do you feel like it's more so like team cohesion, loss of synergy or anything like that? Or is there anything besides the things that I pointed out?
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both. It's like some individual errors and just some lack of like macro knowledge as a team. So that's like, especially where I have to do better next split is to get make sure we play like way better macro mid game. I think I should like lead the game way better. So yeah.
I mean, nevertheless, I mean, the fact that you guys are experiencing these issues at the start of the year gives like a sense of like promise for what you guys can improve on for uh the rest of the year. Moving on to winter, not moving on to spring, and then moving on to summer. And so that's it. I want to ask you. I mean, you kind of mentioned a little bit about the strong early game a few answers ago, but besides that, what do you feel are other positives that you kind of take away from the most from your experience in this winter split?
Yeah, I mean, there's not too many positives, right?
Yeah.
Honestly, I can't think of too many. It's like we had okay early games. We had like some good attackants in our first games, our first 5 games or whatever. I think we got attack in every game in our first 5 games or something like that. Yeah, I mean, that's about it. We have like a lot to improve on, right? So it's like hard to think of the positive things at this moment. Really hard. Because you think of kind of like the bad things and the things you need to improve. But obviously, yeah, I mean, I should like try to think of some positive things, right, to bring to next split, so we don't forget like some of the good stuff we did. Like for example, I think lane swaps are like doing pretty well. So yeah.
No, definitely understand the mentality about that. I mean, obviously, like with you guys kind of in the losing, coming off of a loss, pretty makes your head pretty hazy on that. So yeah, still had to ask you nonetheless. Nevertheless, I
Yeah.
mean, another thing that I want to ask you about Larson was sort of like the new team. Bringing in new players into this rogue squad for 2025. Patrick Execute, Adam Malrank kind of returning, so it's kind of a little bit of a reunion between you and him. Nonetheless, how have you viewed the sort of synergy type of these three incoming players and yeah, like basic synergy and how that has been going for you and the rest of the squad?
Yeah, I mean, right, it's like a completely new team. Usually you have like a core of like a few players and you just get like one or two new players maybe, but for this year we have like a completely new team. So obviously there's like a lot of synergy to build, like a lot. Because usually you have like a base, right? Like all of my other years, I think it's been like maybe we swapped like one or two players, so you have like the core, right? And you already have like some synergy to build on. But that's something like that takes time to build, right? So we definitely we need to build like a lot more synergy, right? And that's also like what made it a bit harder this split because we're a completely new team, and it's always easier, right, if you have like a core of like 3 players or something, and then you build on that, right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, with that said, now you guys move on to the spring split, having around like a few months to prepare yourselves for that. I mean, what do you feel is like the team is going to be planning for the most in trying to like improve and kind of go through the motions from now up until next split? Biggest plans for yourself and the team. What are they?
Yeah, I mean, it's for sure to. Yeah, I mean, we need to have very better focus and scrims, but also like outside of game, we need to like be more social. We need to like do more things together and just be more together as a team. That's for sure like the biggest point. Is for sure to like just do more stuff as a team, so we get better team bonding, and also have 110% focus on scrims because we really need it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you kind of mentioned a little bit about like scrims and having to like have various decent to strong starts and having to like try to translate that into the main stage. You guys did that in a sense, but then as you said, the same problems continue to surface that led to the losses. So that said, how difficult is it for you guys to try to translate, the strong starts from like scrims to main stage? And yeah, how difficult is that for you?
Yeah, but we haven't had very good scrims, so there hasn't been much to translate to stage, to be honest. We've struggled in scrims as well, so yeah, that's why I say we need to like 150% like focus in scrims, because that's where we build the habits from, and our habits to like throw in mid game obviously comes from scrims because we're actually also throwing a lot of mid games there. So yeah.
No, for sure, definitely understand that. Larson, can't thank you enough for doing this interview real quick. One final thing, got any final words to show for the fans, observing your play and stuff like that, and you feel like you can say to them, from now to uh spring?
Yeah, I mean, there's been a lot of struggles past 2 years. The only thing I and the team can do is just to try again and try again and try again. Yeah, that's like the only thing to do is to go again, harder next split. And it's like big thank you to all the people who still support after these years. It's been like, yes, many tough splits, but I feel like a lot of people who support us and write really like nice messages. Like the Rogue Nation Discord, like got lost some really nice messages before this weekend. And yeah, that's just sick that people still stick by after all this time.
Definitely understand that. Larson, thank you so much for the interview and best of luck from now till the start of spring split.
Thank you for having me.